Good morning. open a few more windows. There we go. All right, so last time we got to the point where we had some basic stats, and the other one I was looking at was by days played, which is a little bit more condensed. I could probably try to find some arbitrary unit of time that would get you a similar number. It's interesting how there are some dips. I guess it's, well, no, this might be some different trends based on, this does feel like a dip though, which is, I guess, is where more resolution would come in handy. And I was playing around with the male-female breakdown. I should really just, I'm actually not sure if that works. Okay. One of the things I want to look up is I want to get into some basic plotting stuff in terms of coloring it by gender, for instance, so it's a little easier to see. And actually, there's some even easier things we can do. So for instance, I wanted to look at like a rate of, like average life, it incorporates a lot of things. What I was interested in was like sort of average suicide rate. So that would be lifetime less than 1 minute. No, not lives. Lifetime less than 1, which should give us a giant Boolean. And there's a frightening number 2's there. Now we want, well, actually, that is just a Boolean. So that would be just lives. Yeah, because we're going to be grouping by the days played at time. Well, this isn't a simple count because it's not numeric. We need to count trues. So I might need to turn this into a numeric. Let's see if there is perhaps a better way to do that. R count trues. True values in a logical vector. Oh, right, just index by it. Yeah. Oh, sum over NAs. Okay. No, because it has to be indexed. Well, we could do a quick function, I think. Lives. So our basic thing is lives. Well, yeah, anything else than 3 is sort of instant. So I'm just curious. Well, right, because we're plotting a by days played. with a mean. This is more... I don't think I have NAs in here. This is going to be sum of all. You know, actually what I want is a rate. So if you can sum, does that mean you could still mean? Oh. Okay. Ooh. So while average life length goes up, it does in fact... No, the rate of infant death goes down. As people age, although there is... Yeah. It goes up, the rate of infant death goes up for a while. And then goes down. And we did that by, days played. The original question was days owned. Yep. So that's actually, well, there's a lot more data points there. There is some definite spread. Part of me wonders if this was Jason Rohrer testing that lineage banning bug a little while ago. Because he would be the highest, well, probably the highest days owned. Assuming he was the first person to log on to the server, which would make sense if he was testing them. And this is only server 1, so we don't necessarily include like all of the playtime data. Okay, so this is for like pretty much instant suicide. We could also look at deaths before self-sufficiency. Which I don't imagine be that much different. Yeah. Not too much different there. Oh, I keep, missing a plural. Okay, so yeah, that almost seems... Well, we could, maybe we're actually getting some automatic truncation of range here. Another thing I want to look up is how to force a scale. Yes, Wait, so older players are better at not dying young? Well, that might be temperature management. Or just that they were around during better times when we had the towns and stuff. So that's group apply. I would need to, for comparison, to do it for all players, to check it out via updates and whatnot. I would need to calculate. I've got a number for this somewhere. Derived lives. We get... days owned, birth time minus time started. So we would need the time started of the first data record, which I think should be lives, or we're interested in birth time. Is it 0? Oh, no, because this is only a single vector now. Minute 1. That should be our very first start time. So lives, birth time. And then we want to round that. Oh, that's second still. So this is like lives game day. Hey, Obs, how's it going? Oh no, does it not? If you up arrow, it loses it. So let's grab, this is a starting point. So, game day, birth time minus lives, birth time 0. 0 rows, what the? Numeric 0. What? I guess I never actually did. Lives birth time minus lives birth time 0. Okay, that's an array. Oh, is birth time 0 possibly a one-time one? Oh, 0. It's an NA or something. That helps. Actually getting an element of the array. And then we do less than 1 might be more interesting. A game day. So this is for all players. And this might be the start of Steam here. Well, or maybe it's other... No, this is like very young bursts. I haven't actually updated my input data. This is apparently a very bad day. So the rate of infant death actually increased. No, decreased for a while. And then probably had more players coming in. Is less than 3 any different? No. One update, it was really good apparently. That's generally the same pattern. Or no, wait, this is rate of... No, this is rate of deaths, not rate of living past. And... Dev Shapeko? Got a little bit of blur on that, so... Or shadow. So it can be hard to read sometimes, but welcome. I've got my preview window shrunk down a bit. So that means that, yeah. Yes, people got better. Then, yeah, more people got in, died sooner, got a little bit better. Things changed a little over time. And I think this is kind of the steady state we were in shortly before the Steam launch. It would take a little while to update with the last couple days' data. And I think some of the questions we're more interested in were that. So now that, Well, I don't know if I want to get into like statistical control because, this is like the global rate and we're kind of interested in I think the question was about how players of different times behave. And I'm not good enough with statistics right now I'd have to do some reading up on how to do that in a correct way. Because the data is like in the data you're trying to update. So globally it looks like that. And then that's, well, people with lots of days owned. Well, this is that time of life. But that is going to kind of overlap some of those things a little bit. Like some of the people doing certain death rates could actually have been in their very first lives. So any parts of that will have to do with how new a player was, just player joining bursts would kind of get all compressed down into here. All right. Are there any other ratios or simple rates that would be interesting? This is log data right now. Lives. Oh, I guess I'd keep some of the birth fields. I'm not really a... Yeah, for the less than is fine. For making it... I could do making it to old age, although we have to account for Eve's doing that. Well, I guess to making it to old age, absolute age, you could do that. It's not sort of the central question here, but it would be pretty easy. Old age, lives, age greater than... I think 55 is the line he uses. So we can do by days owned. Oh, nope, that was still less than 1. Okay, that's kind of predictable. What did I call it? Game day. And that kind of follows some similar patterns, but tends to go up over time. All right, so now I want to do, like, for instance, the gender breakdown, and that is going to get back into searching up some of the plotting basics. Statistical models, graphical procedures. All right, plot. X and Y are vectors, a scatter plot of Y against X. So when you have to do this kind of thing, I mean, I could produce that down to vectors, but we need to actually... a factor object, a bar plot. Oh, here's one we could do. Well, we can do this in general, but lives, gender versus lives less than 1. This is supposed to be a summary. Oh, do I have to... I think it's probably still crunching. Yeah. Oh, I might have needed to do rates on this rather than booleans. We might try to plot that. There's individual points. Uh, okay, so that wasn't as convenient as we hoped. Nope, nope, there we go. Yeah, okay, so I'd have to figure out a way to, and I'd have to do mean of that by gender. Actually, could we do, that's old age. No, that's not a factor. It's not taking into account factors and doing that. Is there any better way to express that? DF is a data frame. Y is any object. Is a list of object names separated by plus. Distributional plots. Or of a number of named objects. Y against every object named in expression. But these are going to be direct plots. I know plot data frame gives you a whole bunch of cross plots. Multivariate data. Matrix or data frame. Pairwise scatter plot. Yeah, that's too much. Vol to be more enlightening. A and B are numeric vectors. C is a factor. Number of scatter plots of A against B for given values of C. I would actually have to get like my reduced data. So what exactly is this? Oh, those are just numbers. You don't even need to. Okay, yep. So the infant mortality rate is in fact, I don't know my definition of statistical significance, but that's more than 10% different. I can also use two given variables. Distribution comparison plots. Numeric against the expected normal order or scores. So this is probably a single value thing. There was something, what did I graph? Oh, I was doing length. We're doing it was lifetime, I think, by, say, days owned, and using length as the summarizer. And that's just exponential. Will you accept that? That just seems to kind of invert it. And I would have to read up on what that means. Expected normal scores plot. Against those to compare their respective distributions. Histogram of the numeric vector x. This is size of the sets. Is that just like what's it called? Deviations. Let's see. So histogram. Okay, that's just a different display of it. That might be more interesting on something like that. No. Oh, because I'm still doing length. That's mean values. By days owned of infant death. That just tells you where the most common values are. Hmm. Maybe lifetime is more interesting there. Oh, no, we're back to length. We double upped. Uh, I'm not sure that makes sense. Because this looks like lifetime distribution. That's the frequency. Yeah, that makes no sense. It's like the frequency of that lifetime over all the days owned. That you might want to apply directly, but that's only to a single vector. So I do need... No, okay, yeah, that's days owned, mean lifetime. Hmm. It's a dot chart. Plot of 3 variables. Okay, so that's like 3D stuff. If I got into proper cohorts, I might use that to do stuff over time. Add axes. Ah, logarithmic. That's one of the things I wanted for what? Was the plot by length. And log equals, that would be the y-axis? Not super useful scale, but it gets a little bit better view of the high end of days owned here. This is length. This is 5. It looks like it's lining up with this. So this is probably like 3, maybe? Yes, that's like 1, 2, 3, 5. It's like, Jason Rohr and a friend. Or maybe a couple friends. That have played a life at Mac. Well, have played a life, I guess, might be the catch there. And then lots and lots of people with early days owned. Mm. So there is a. I'm guessing that this is like early growth, slowed down a little bit. We started getting early part of Steam. Okay. Point lines, vertical lines. Okay, we can affect labels. Low level plotting. Fonts. Graphics parameters. That's, yeah. Elements. Okay, so how do we. Because I know when I was first looking at R, there was this like data set of like plant data, and one of the things that they did was they grouped some different, like there's like a 3-part factor they did with different colors. And that might be interesting to plot against the gender. It's like, no. It's like sepal something. Introduction to R. Maybe that would be more in the statistical side. Linear regression. Well, that's could be interesting. Simple linear regression model of y on x. So the model we're looking at is multiple regression. Lives. So we're looking, it's the output. So we're trying to predict lifetime based on is this a plottable thing? That might end up being all points again. Or we have to read on what to do with the model. Op1, term 1, op1, term 2. Y is modeled as M. These are model relations. Oh, that's the formula. Okay, so that just plots the points. Linear model. Can we plot that? So am I still waiting for this to come up? Or do I have to hit return? I'm gonna have to get this done and then clear it to make sure I know when it's actually drawn something. Unfortunately, if it does plot all the points, then it's a very, very noisy graph. Well, we'll let that run for a little bit. Extracting model information. Nope. Residuals fitted. Oh, man. I think that means there's a slight correlation. But yeah, that's a little rough for data sets this size. And I'm not sure what unit this is. And this is getting probably way... There's a summary. Oop, it's thinking, oop. Normal Q, oh. That's an interesting twist. Yeah, I'd have to do a lot of reading up on statistics to be able to read this. Also, I have not adjusted lifetime for Eves yet. It's pretty much straight up minutes, so we would need some sort of like percent of life to wash out some of the differences you get from having reduced. There's the introduction. Maybe import export used the sample data. No, that's very... R plot color by factor? Well, no, I actually have to have, yeah, iris. However, this does not give me the examples for using it. Mm, yeah, I need to get into statistics to understand this. This is a positive relation? Maybe that's trying to flatten out the residuals relative to the line? Legend, levels. Color by. But that's for plotting individual points. I would actually have to do two analysis. Hmm. I would actually need. Okay. I would need. Hmm. I think T apply only works by one factor. I would need to do that by two factors. Is there related functions to this that can do more things? Or break sum. Apply functions over array margins. Get row and column sums for a matrix. Matrix. Function over a list. Okay, this is just a straight up. A vector. So maybe. Well, I'll apply. Would that go by factor? Yep. Yeah, that's just each one. I guess T applies extra special. A list. Oh, these are all. Okay. Fun.value. Ah. Template for the return value of fun. X is a list with a couple different things. The mean for each list in the list. So I need a list of lists. What kind of shape of data do I need? I need... I guess the problem is t-apply does it too well, so I don't understand the mechanics. I need to do... There was something in graphics. Add. So this is where we would have to... Well, we could pre-calculate them, because it might be as... Oh... Yeah, because we have to apply that to both pieces. It's still going to be summarizing by that. I don't know that it would properly adjust the frame. Let's try... Oop, that was length. I mean, that would work for basic test. And make sure we get this right. Okay. So we've got some different scales here. Oops. Not a graphical. Okay, so some that doesn't apply to plot. High-level graphics functions. Could plot a scatter plot. Probably stayed up too late last night. How do we... Well, every day zoned, except for maybe some of the lower ones, is going to have both male and female. So we need to be doing this by a two-part factor. List of object names. Distributional plots. Did you do like... No, I think that'll be the wrong direction. No, and the ad doesn't make any sense. Left that on there. Yeah, I must have the same length. So how do we do a T? I guess we have to somehow construct NA, yeah. Is there a type of... Really? I guess the underlying type is an integer of the factors. Your double. Maybe, so T apply. Oops, that was me trying to construct that. Now it stays played. Which I guess is an easier data set to work with. Gives me that. No, because I need two entries for each. And that part doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Nothing. Because that's a mean. Oh, but, Lives lifetime by... Lives, gender... Pardon? Oh. And that was in fact an equal. So lives comes from derived lives. Is backup. Backup is of logs. Still got that same old C error. Oh, I had added some extra columns. Well, I'm not using those right now. We could come back to them later. All right. Is equal to... Arguments must have same length. Yes, this is where we have to have the same... Now we're back to this. Which is not... Is there something that's like... By two or more factor variables. Oh, it's a list, not a C. Okay. And I probably should be using things like with or such. Okay, so that's a table. Oh, and that does a... So I have to get into more advanced plot operations. This is just a bunch of different data points with the average lifetime for a character of a certain gender. You might want to force those to be the same scale. And this is lifetime, so it's still going to be skewed by eaves, especially on the female front. What does that mean? This means males more likely to have lower. Well, we don't have more. Maybe a little more there. The scales kind of mess you up though. Plot. Models. Can we set scales? Axes. Oh, individual points. Well, you see, I needed points with... I wanted points on the scale of such and such. Is there a... It's log. Axis true. X lob. I want to overlay two different... Oh, we ended up with the gender not as a data, but as a factor. I want to do it just by index for 2 items. So we know that. Well, I guess I'm not. Yeah, if there's not a day there, there's not a day there. So we get a. Is it that? Yeah. Uh, 5 days by 5 days by gender. 1, 2, 243. So that's 2 axes. I mean, technically that's 2 things. Nope, X and Y differ in length. That's doubled. And possibly... No, I don't think I see any NAs. What am I? Oh, that was next to parenthesis. Atomic vectors. So it's got labels. Number 1 by 244 and 1 to 2. Oh, because there's actually a 0, which is not the same as the index. Oh, so is... What's the same number of entries? No, the original one. No, X and Y coordinates differ. That's not a table, that is some sort of vector thing. So I can't do that. I could do... Oh, right. This kind of thing. What was that? We wanted comma number. X and Y links differ. So I need to turn this into a data frame. Or do I? So how do I make a data frame? I guess we just start assigning stuff. How do I make a data frame from scratch? Data frame, blah, 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 blah. Equals. M equals. I didn't look at that. No, here. No, it's female first. No, that's the... It's not what I want. I actually want double entries with things as data. So actually, I is days owned. So it's sort of the right length. Okay, so 7, 9. We're going in this order. Uh, Left is by gender. So we've got those. If I forced the scale, seems to be 40's enough. How do I force a scale? An axis, I guess. Add an axis. Does that rescale it, though? Axis. Okay, we want it to be... And that's just drawing random stuff. It's not rescaling anything. How would we force two plots to use the same scaling? For every entry, I need to add its two qualities. I'm going to get it as a data frame. Which I think you could actually plot that, maybe? And that would be that number of entries. I need to assign qualities to them. But that's this like compound. Okay, so it sort of blew that out. Which is not what I wanted. I need to make a data frame. What is it? Column bind, row bind. What? Oh, was that view that was doing that? That's right. And then clicking on it over there just brings it up. Okay, I guess not. I thought it was... Okay, so this isn't a real command. This is not a real thing. Well, if we're going to transpose it... maybe it was just C? Right, because it moved down to a value you can't even... Alright, so now it's linear. So now I can do... Data.frame. You know what? We are down in the guts R right now. Data.frame. Okay, we've got a baseline. Now the awkward part. We have to assign that to something. Blarg I. I guess what we can do is we can column bind 0 to 243 to 0 to 243. And then, how do I, and then blarg, wait, I told you to only select, oh. And then we have to say 245 to 488. No, I actually got this backwards. Okay. So now we want to plot need better names against blarg. Okay, other way. Oh shoot. Interestingly enough, oh, the edge I looked at was good, but then the rest of them would not have been good. Thank you. The apply did not give me the data shape I wanted. No, lifetime. Okay, there definitely appears to be a difference. Now, how do I... Coloring a plot by factor. Pardon? Well, I guess we should probably make sure this is a factor, huh? Nope. Right, I was copying data. Invalid color name. Maybe if because does not appear to be factor. So is that to encode a vector as a factor? All right, can you use that? Now all I need is a legend to tell me which is which. Well, it says levels are F and M. Well, you have to use that. Legend. Oh, palette is black-red. Legend equals levels. But it's not giving me the colors associated with that. Color equals color. Oh, ggplot. Well, maybe. XY plot. Oh, it's a library. Library. Color palette function. Plot color equals colors. Color palette function. Colors equals space equals color ramp palette. Which takes the number of colors. But does that give me... Oh, call equals. Okay. I don't know if that'll work. No. We actually have to define our colors. Well, I think somebody defined our basic palette, which is black-red. So we do see a difference in average. It is probably from suicide. And they're actually pretty close otherwise. But now, this is not an easy method for me to apply to arbitrary data because I had to do a whole lot of reshaping. So it looks like what I need is the data frame of a summary by some columns that has those columns available. Because this came from redo lives, plot attempts, yeah. From there, which got me the numbers I wanted, but not in the shape I wanted. All right, data frame with a summary by factors. There's plier again. A new package, data.table. That might just be tapply. And there's the plier. Yeah, maybe I should look at the packages. Data factor, data frame, aggregate. Dplier, which I don't know how to find. Well, I could just try putting in a name and crossing my fingers. Psych package, plier package, Dubai package. I need more water. Wait, didn't I just go past that? Okay, there's the cuttlefish.
What the hell is going on?
This is the true form of Pinkun that I pretended I couldn't see.
So, I'm...
Pinkun was always by my side. And because of that, I was able to live out my dream of being a chosen one. I lived as a chosen one alongside the familiar I called a friend.
Then you're saying Pin-kun's real form is...
Yes. Pin-kun is a delusion I myself have created.
Pin-kun is a delusion?
It all makes sense now. It feels natural. Freeing, even.
Pin-kun?
Now that you know, this existence, the one you call Pin-kun, is no longer needed, Saki.
No! Why?
Because you're a chosen one, with or without me. It's your destiny to nullify this unending day. Yet as long as I'm part of that destiny, you'll continue to wander the space between reality and delusion.
But you don't get surrounded.
Come and get... Run him through! Right down!
Here we go. Long road ahead. Final customer. Let's
Let's show him our dedication to service.
Meters filled to burst.
Yeah.
It's all
Alright, and welcome back. Alright, well, still a little stuck here. I want to I should loop back and look at some of the stuff we were doing today. Unfortunately, it doesn't mark today. Oh, actually, that might have been some stuff we started out with. This needs to be big enough to see it all. Alright, so I actually do need both, kinda need both. So I can't copy from this directly. The only thing I can do, nope, I need to... I mean, that works. Or actually... No, yeah, it's a... Seems to be a new file every time. Days played... Oh! Okay, no, it's not. Oh, because I had it highlighted. Okay. So that's a simple extension of that. Game day was marginally interesting. No, wrong one. Old age is a simple extension of the life check. Although I have to actually recreate some of these things to see what I was graphing out of them. I don't remember if any were especially interesting. Yeah, I was trying out some of their functions. We got our t-apply of two things. But that's not... I mean, the fact that you can do that is interesting. Is that the right one? That gives you the total overall summary numbers. Oh, because I had to do list, not construct. Oops. Yeah, so that's an interesting one. But the data format is awkward to use. And then that's where I got into trying to reshape it. Alright, so we had that stuff, we had game day, we had multi-factor application. Okay. So we've got that recorded. Is there a better way to get a table like that with derived statistics? Oop, I forgot I had that open. And the answer seems to be, although they're not really showing what the results of this is. Lots of fancy stuff with operators. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Dendrochronology Program Library. This is not a high-level description. Arithmetic models. Is this a different dplyr? This seems to be a different dplyr. Dplyr package. Maybe? Maybe not. The other one was endocrinology. Reference manual. Data processing and analysis. Data dim, call names. Hmm. Call means. This actually doesn't seem to be referencing the things that the other posts were talking about. Percent operators and stuff. Are there maybe multiple multiplayer libraries? Oh, did I? Deployer. Turn all the rows, satisfy the. Well, I mean, that's not a hard thing to do normally. Add a new variable to the data. Not super hard. Single value. Okay, that gives you group by air quality month. Mean temp. Well, group by might be it. Oh, all right. I don't think I touched those. Oh, it actually did just directly update it. Sometimes programs don't respond well to changing the color scheme while live. Well, we'll get checkpoints in our data. Probably actually need to do some cleanup as well. What's really scary is this is still only server 1. Well, I mean, that has most of the data, but I know for a while we were getting up to like, I don't know, first 8 or something? When the caps were lower? Huh. You think I had a good save before? I don't really even need this open. probably don't need most of this open. So oh, the question is, well, this is where, and that's the manual, which would tell us about the details about what group by can actually handle. Oh, this must be like a functional application thing. Interesting. Oh, application with namespacing? Each call to summarize removes a layer of the grouping. Grouping doesn't change how the data looks. Is that a metadata thing? Alright, so to follow that example, it would be lives. Well, let's initially try. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, nicer summary, I guess. Groups. Yeah. Any windows. Then we summarize. Is this calculating multiple? Maybe it was lifetime. Yeah. Okay, that is no. Well, no, that is. a table that has all the stuff. So how does group by do multiple? Maybe I group by two things and then apply summarize, but summarize removes one layer of grouping. Okay, so then do group by days owned. Okay, that is a much easier way to get the data I was looking for. So we don't really have a select. RM, I guess I really don't need this. Blarg. Ordered perm range resets. We're pretty much done with. All right, so we got this thing. Oh, and it was. We might need to. Library. All right, and this, to give it a proper name, oh, you know what? Yeah, that's the average. Well, it's mean life. Okay, I actually need to do this specifically by, and that's a really obnoxious name. Actually, does this work in, well, it has to be with. Plot, I forget what the order was. Days owned by lifetime with call equals gender. Okay, we still don't have a good definition for. I guess I would have to write a function that explicitly did that. But that gives us something. And then I think I want to go back to something like this for the possible suicide rate. Yep, that's Vim. And then we go back to this as infant rate. Well, we'll keep it a little shorter. Not summarize. Oh, I can actually summarize multiple things. Okay. That's right. I forgot about that. Less than 1 equals mean. I think it was mean still worked for this. Oh, and then you destroy it. Then 1 equals mean. Less than 1. Oh, right. This didn't include the didn't include that. Summary owned. This would be summary owned, and then we would take something like this. Well, something like this. And we can go back to our plot. Lifetime. So less than 1. It actually looks surprisingly the same. But it does prove that there is... Well, we already had the overall summary statistics. That there is a definite preference. It's actually somewhat less marked as we go up. Well, it might actually be lack of data, but we have significantly more data at the low end. There is definitely a bias. Here, well, this may have been an everybody thing, but it's actually going above the... We're assuming that greater death rate... Maybe there were just too many people, they wanted fewer females? I don't know. Oh, the other thing I... I might have to take Eves out of this. Just because that skews your number of females. It would almost be like male-female Eve as a situation. So what would that be? Well, an Eve is somebody with a parent of no parent. So we would want to consider born as well. Lives where lives parent, is it not equal? Oops, wrong character. Undefined column selected. Lives parent. Not okay. And that's Boolean. Oh no, wait, I have to do the and everything. Okay, so this is just a lot of lives. Oop, and that is my reminder that I need to get going, or I need to, if I need to do dancing today, and you do that, so I need to do that soon. So I can get showered and lunched before I need to go later. Alright, so lives that were actually born. And then we go back to summary owned. In just the players that were born. And we get our plot. Oh, okay, it doesn't skew it too much. I'd swear there was something earlier. I forget what I was looking at. That did appear to have more of a trend. Oh, maybe it's this is all summary played by days played. What'd I call it? Oh, was that a derived column that can get put into my production routine? Derived lives. I may need to resource this into the environment. No, that's source on save. And then I have to redo lives. And I might actually need to start doing like less than 3, less than 1 as part of the function. We just did that recently, right? It's going to start with lives. Lives less than 1. We need to remake born. No continue days played. And plot. Days played. Summary played. Okay, so people who played a long time don't have as high of a suicide rate in general. It's slightly more of a... Yeah, that's a little bit of a spike of the suicide rate at mid-range. This is less than 1. Age is less than... Increasing rate of death at very young age. Maybe it was less than 3. Where things got interesting. And then we need born. Summary played. and I've done it since then. Oh, no, because I actually have to change the value. Oh, I also have to do that in the summary. Less than 3 equals mean less than 3. Not very different, actually. Oh, did I actually change less than 3 properly? There's life less than 1. Nope. Lifetime less than 3. I guess doing age less than blah would automatically exclude Eves, wouldn't it? Now I'd need to make a new factor to go off of that would be male, female, Eve. Hmm. Alright, and then I was expanding that. Summary owned. And plot summary owned. Oh, where is... Oh, there's another one. I've done a little bit of Lisp-y things. And that seems to have less clear trends. Oh, and the other thing I'm forgetting about. What is... That would just be the global would be... Did I do... I have not added game days to this. I think I put it in notes, but not... so that's just a lives. We can do summary game. A game day. Depth first search in a program. I could maybe talk through some ideas. Is this like a tree structure? Oh, because I need to redo born now. Okay. I mean, depth first just means that as your tree has, I mean, I don't know if it's a binary tree with 2 leaves or arbitrary leaves. You're going to have to, as you go down, you'll have some way to, either it's A and B, or you iterate through the leaves of that particular node. Well, branches maybe at that point. And depth first means that you're going to recur as you get to going to recurse your search function down each before going to the next node in the first one. And if this is a search, well, it depends on if you want first result or all results. For first result, you would be able to, if you found it, just short circuit and skip the rest. If it's all results, you'll have to still continue on, but you'll get them in depth first order by recursing down before you evaluate each option at each level. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know enough scheme to remember the details, but if you have to do anything special for recursive functions as far as how they're declared. But yeah, generally you have some sort of recursive element to it. Go through a tree structure so all the nodes are the same. Summary game, and then we are trying to do a plot command. With plot summary game. Oh, no, I have to game day, yeah. But I just erased that. Okay, so there has been some pretty significant variation. Oh, so interestingly, overall, there was not a big depth difference by game day, and then people kind of developed that preference. Less than 1. Some different outliers there. What was my other? Oh, overall lifetime. Has been improving. And then, yeah, we would expect that the boys were lower because of the suicide rate. Might be interesting to take only the people who survived to 3 and then look at that survival rate. But yeah, I might actually have to do a notes, male, female Eve factor. Might also be interesting. Let's see, do I need to get a summary game? I added that to the function. I've not reevaluated that for next time. I mean, I should almost add less than 3, less than 1 to it at this point. Derived lives. And just more calculations. Oops. We have to do special paste. And then from here, 3. I did some old age stuff at one point. I don't know if it's as important. It's not the immediate question. All right, source that. Is there anything we need to clean up? I got my summaries. The mean by can go. Getting an Eve factor would take care of that. RM. All right, I need to get going because I have an appointment this afternoon. Unfortunately. So I'm going to go ahead. Well, I can deal with that in a little bit. I do want to save that to make sure that we get a checkpoint on our environment. All right, so I never know whether to do stream over or BRB, but I'm assuming most people here for programming, so programming is over. I'm going to be doing a little bit of Step Mania because it's cold out there and I still want to get a little bit of exercise. So I will be back, but for something very, very different. Meanwhile, thanks for watching. And thanks to Ruffalos, Crow, Katsuni, Destructively Phased, Wind Jellybean, Dog and Lake, Haskin Tiffy, Thylos, Gamer Siren, Too Laugh for the Cry, Osirek Gaming, Joey Sheffer AP, Ned Makes Games, Instant Speed Live, Cat Knox, and Stormy S. Lefford for hosting me. I will take the stream down for a little bit to change settings, and then I'll need a few more minutes to get the dance pad set up and stuff, and then I will be back.